We are looking at a 5,000 share order.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Google Cloud Live. Last week, we had an incredible first joint live stream with the folks at NVIDIA, and we chatted about accelerating data science and analytics using GPUs. We saw some pretty awesome demos, so if you did miss that episode, definitely go back and check out the replay. But this week, the energy is shifting because the countdown to Google Cloud Next is officially on. We are just 1 week away from the biggest event of the year, at least in our world. And I think it's our biggest Next ever. And today I'm joined by two people who are right at the heart of the action. We have Richard Seroter and Emma Twersky. Hey, you both.
Hey, so happy to see you again, Steph.
Yeah, you too. And it's great to have you here because I know we are, it's the final hours right before Next, and you both, I'm sure, are just crazy busy. So thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
Happy to be here.
Great. So, and let me just quickly say hi to everyone who's joining us from the live feed here. Welcome, welcome. We want to hear from you. So go ahead and drop a note in the chat and let us know where you are tuning in from today. So we have folks, everyone. Let's see. We have people in from YouTube. I see folks from LinkedIn as well. Hi to Jordan, Andrea, David. I see Westport, Connecticut, Dominican Republic. It's also always awesome to see everybody coming in from literally around the world. So thanks for joining us. We have a lot to dive into today. We've got a massive show planned because we are covering everything you need to know about Google Cloud Next, from the keynotes that you can't miss to all of the deep dive breakout sessions. We're going to give you the ultimate know before you go guide. So just to give you an understanding of Next 2026, this is all designed to equip developers with the knowledge, the skills, and the connections to build what's next. So you can expect over 600 dedicated sessions, hands-on opportunities, and unique networking events. We actually have 3 keynotes. We have 10 Google Spotlight sessions, 15 partner spotlights, and we have this must-see developer keynote. I just wanted to cover that actually because Richard and Emma, you both are a huge part of this keynote. What are you most excited about for it? And we can show it here on screen real quick. It's called Get Real: Agents in the Autonomous Era. We have so many people involved this year, and this is just the people on stage. Obviously, there are tons of people behind the scenes building it this year. So tell us a little bit about the keynote.
Yeah, Emma, I'd love your thoughts first.
Oh, okay. Ultimately, like my favorite thing about the developer keynote at Next is that you actually get to see demos of actual things on stage and really dive into all the products. It's helped me just working on it, learn about all of the launches. It's kind of overwhelming. So seeing it all contextualized in something really cool this year is there's sort of a through line to all the demos. So really seeing how all of the launches and demos build on each other and help me and you build something even better after Next. What about you, Richard?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love that this is the first time I've done a few of these now where there's a consistent theme to the demonstrations. We're going to blow you away, I think, with the sort of example application we're using as part of this. And you're going to see a lot of cool stuff. And so this is hopefully the most joyful session. None of us are going to wear suits. I don't think you're wearing a suit, Emma. So this is our chance to have a little fun and show off tech and do something that makes people happy.
You're not wearing your suit?
No, I was going to go like full Mr. Peanut, like monocle top hat, but figured that wasn't the right look.
Nah, we're developers. We wear jeans.
That's right.
I love it. Well, I'm super excited, and we're obviously going to be streaming that, so everybody needs to check that one out. But I will say one of the things that I'm also really excited about for those who are going to be here in person in Vegas at Next, we have an incredible showcase floor lined up as well. So I'm just going to share a quick map of what it looks like. It's a lot, but it's about 67,000 square feet of space with over 125 demos. We also have 15 plus bespoke experiences and activities. We have 75 lightning talks. So just to kind of walk through what you're looking at on screen here, we have 3 different colored areas. It's called the Imagine over on the right. We have Learn in the middle and Build on the left. So Imagine is all around discovering the art of the possible. It's about inspiration. You're going to see demos here, AI applications, customer success stories. And so you'll see things like Gemini with robotics and interactive AI experiences. And if you're ready to go deeper, this middle section is called Learn. And this area is designed to make cloud concepts more tangible with technical deep dives, learn pods, product focused stations, and some expert led sessions. And then over on the left here is really where you get to go hands-on and start creating. So the build section is where you can build things. And you'll see some of my favorite areas like the Agentic Hack Zone, which is all the way on the left. We also have workshops. You can connect and join the Google Developer Program. And then you're also going to see things like demos too. So one of the things that my team's been really involved in is a demo called CLI Mission Control. So you're going to be using Gemini CLI to complete a launch sequence of steps and try to get your rocket to take off as you compete for a place on the leaderboard. And then we have one for ADK and A2A in action. So you're going to be working with ADK or Agent Development Kit and also A2A protocol to drive agents autonomously to negotiate different budgets and pivot on trends and align on design constraints to ship a game into the market. And then you'll see other things too. So just wanted to highlight that. Another thing is the developer theater. I don't think you can see my mouse, but in the middle section here, there's a little theater in yellow at the bottom middle. And you're going to be able to see all these lightning talks, about 34. They're all 20 minutes long. There's Q&A involved as well. And so these are demo heavy sessions from Google experts and GDEs. So you'll see sessions like building apps faster with AI assistance or quickly building and deploying scalable apps, agents, and APIs. One thing I also want to highlight is just the Learn Pod section in the middle, which is in red. So again, you're going to see demos for data analytics, Google Workspace, application development, security, a ton there. And one thing that you can actually take advantage of is something called the Skills Challenge. So we did this last year, but if you are going to be at the showcase, you might as well get rewards for it. So you're going to be able to participate in this full game where you can earn badges and rewards. It's a gamified web experience. So you can earn swag by completing activations across the entire showcase floor and areas at Next. Okay, I just talked a lot. Any reactions from Richard and Emma on all of that?
So much. That show floor is enormous. I think we made it even bigger somehow than last year, which that doesn't make any sense to me. But there's enough to do for people who just want to browse around and learn or do the things you talked about to go hands-on. So I think that's it's a fun way to, I don't know, you get an excuse to go to an event and just learn for a few days. The key to me in those moments is just take advantage of that.
Yeah, I always end up getting lost in the floor, and that's like always the most valuable time. Like I have my agenda, I plan to go to all these sessions. I'm like, great, I'm gonna go to this workshop, and things are so far away that I end up like having really valuable hallway conversations of just like between point A and point B, there's like 10 million other things that you can stop and learn, and you end up at a demo that you've never heard of a thing before, and that ends up being the thing that sticks that you're like most excited about. One of the things I'm most excited about is if we pull up, I don't know, Stephanie, if you can pull up that demo floor again.
Oh yeah, sure.
My team is helping with sort of the center two things there. So that really cute robot above 112 is an area called Agentic Mobile and Web. And so we have 6 different demos there that are all sort of around different frameworks and languages and SDKs and ways that you can bring agents to mobile and web apps. So things like phone number verification or Dart full stack Firebase functions, like all of these things, all of them represent long time developer feature requests for some of the largest frameworks and languages that Google Cloud, that you can run on Google Cloud. And so there's some really cool applicable demos that we're really excited about there. And then the most exciting one for me is next to that coffee icon right in the center. We're very excited about. I've been pitching this for years, but we're calling this Gen Latte. And so, as we've all said, like this is exhausting. There's so much happening at Next. So we're actually running a full barista station where you can go and order coffee. And we've reimagined what a coffee shop experience might look like with generative UI and some of the newest launches that you'll see at Next. So it's a full app experience. You get to agentically code, dive into the code, but also walk away with what I think is hopefully a very good cup of coffee. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be hanging out with the baristas all week.
I think that's going to be one of, if not the most popular demo on the floor, because who doesn't love playing with AI and getting an actual good cup of coffee, like at a conference where you're just wired for 3 days, right?
Exactly. And decaf.
Okay. Love that.
There you go.
That's amazing. I mean, there's so much going on. Even if you didn't have an agenda set and you didn't even sign up for a single breakout session, you could spend the entire time on the showcase floor and get so much value out of it because you're actually able to play around with the tech, meet people. I mean, I think one of the things that I want to highlight is just like the networking opportunities that we've also really put a lot of thought into. So just to kind of keep going a little bit here, because I still have more to show. We just to talk about the Google Skills and Credentials area too. I'll cover the networking in just a second, but the Learning and Cert booth is available if you want to continue learning about how you can get hands-on with different classroom sessions, get your certifications for various Google Cloud areas. And then on the third floor at Next, there's something called the Skills Zone, where you can participate in hands-on workshops and mini labs. And we're also going to be doing some workshops with some of our key partners like NVIDIA, McLaren, Team USA. So it's really exciting to see all of the amazing opportunities you have here to build some really fun stuff with Google Cloud. The other thing I want to highlight is as you scroll down, I think these images give you a really good sense of what it feels like to actually be there. So again, I said the interactive workshops. You can connect with our community. Again, I mentioned earlier, we have the Google Developer Program. This is like our central hub for Google development designed for all skill levels to learn and grow. So you can create this developer profile online and it connects your interests across Google Cloud, Firebase, Android, Chrome, AI tools. And you can also access resources like learning pathways with our new Gemini Enterprise Agent Ready program and get achievement badges as well. So if you do sign up and you go to all these things at Next, you're going to also get access to Code Labs and they'll link to your Google developer profile. So encourage you to do that. And then finally, the Builder Hub here is going to be something that's totally reinvented this year. So get excited for the Builder Hub. You can network with people and different communities across Android, Flutter, Chrome, Go. And then this year, we're doing something really exciting called Hacky Hour, which is in the Builder Hub. So on day one, which is Wednesday, we're turning this area into a hacky hour or happy hour into this hackable quest. So using a mobile web app, you'll be able to visit all of the different booths between Firebase, Flutter, Android, Chrome, Go, and our Gear booth to complete these micro hacks or mini games. And every time you complete one, you'll get a digital badge. And if you complete all of the levels, you will also get some swag. And there will also be some magic involved. I won't give away too much, but definitely don't miss that. And then finally, we have a ton happening. Let's see, we have meetups. The meetups this year, Andrew is on our team and he's done a really great job at just really bumping up the meetup space because they were so popular in past years. But just to give you a sense, this is, we have a ton happening. So I'll just quickly flash this. We have dozens of meetups happening. We've really expanded the space. So if you're interested in different topics like security, platform engineering, Flutter, mobile, you can find your crew here for sure. And these are kind of informal sessions where you can talk about jobs to be done. Really, it's just meeting other people in the space. But there's also a couple other areas that you can check out too. We have discussion groups, and we also have birds of a feather. So there's basically 3 different areas that you can essentially meet up with other people, either discussion groups, which are like the extension of breakout sessions for you to ask questions, and then birds of a feather, which are like smaller group sessions where you can sit down at a table and talk to folks about key topics as well. So I'll stop there. I could probably go on and on, but I want to hear from you, Emma, about what you're excited about.
Yeah, so I think Richard and I both created some agendas of some of the things that really stuck out to us. I mean, it's hard to pick. I called it my favorites, but it's just sort of some things that jumped out to me that if I had all the time in the world, I would try to go to. And even then, I started looking through this, and they all overlap because there's so many. So I'm just going to sort of speed run. There's some really cool customer talks. I used to work with my old engineering manager is now at Spotify and applying AI in really cool ways. And I want to know what they're doing. Every time I check LinkedIn, I'm impressed. And Google Cloud Next is like the place to hear how other customers are applying Google Cloud to their AI journeys. It's really interesting. It'd be hard not to call out the What's New in Gemini from DeepMind talk. I think that's going to be really interesting. And to that meetup point, I'm hosting the Flutter meetup, but there's also a ton of other meetups, not just for technical languages and frameworks, but also interest groups. There's a global engineering one. There's the Women in Tech one. I'm going to try and stop by. And then one I'm really excited about is this is like the talk for Flutter this year. If you don't know, I'm on the Flutter team. And so our tech lead and the tech lead of our generative UI team are presenting this talk. It's all about user experiences with A to UI and generative UI, which is sort of a new paradigm shift of like, what does it mean to design dynamically rendering apps? Like apps that really customize and personalize, not just to who all of your users are, but really to the individual user and their journey through your experience. We've seen some really cool stories that we'll have on the demo floor of some of our consultancies that we work with, bringing this to companies like Toyota, like large food apps across the world, and getting people further in the ordering journey, further in the sign-up journey because of that personalization. So they're going to talk through really what it takes to build a great experience there. And then there's just a bunch of other cool stuff. Again, meetups, all kinds of stuff, really. Those discussion groups, I think you sort of touched on it, but the way I'm thinking of discussion groups is each of our sort of marquee talks that each team has, we were given the option to do a follow-up discussion group. So it's kind of like, after a talk, you have like a really long line to talk to the speaker and have a one-on-one conversation, and you kind of end up like huddling outside the room afterwards. Next has seen that and heard how valuable that is and sort of turned that into a formal discussion group. So 30 minutes after that Gen UI talk is done, we're actually going to have an entire room to ourselves to just continue the conversation more openly with all of the engineers building the product. So I'm really excited about those larger discussion groups that are going to really open up and have some of those hallway conversations. The next day, let's see. I mean, obviously there's a keynote. You can skip that, not important. No, that's Richard and I presenting. We've already talked about that this morning. But there's also some other cool stuff. There's the What's New in Gemini 3. And this one I picked out because it's a workshop. So again, like when you're going to Next, you want to be able to actually like dive deep and build with stuff. I think it's so cool that there's an entire floor of workshops and skills challenges and ways to dive in. And the best thing about working with a new model is like, I want to learn from the people that are working on that model and working closely with those teams. Like, how should I work with that new model? So I thought that was really cool. Again, some A to UI, that personalized stuff. And then I'm hosting that meetup. So that's kind of what we have going on in our world. Oh, and I will call it one more, which is We are very excited to have all of our friends at Toyota Connected joining us to talk about their journey with Flutter. If you don't know, all of the new RAV4s for 2026 just launched with Flutter running their infotainment. We're super excited about the journey they've been on of bringing Flutter to all of their UX. We were actually just on site in Plano, Texas, driving the cars. We tried to get a car on that floor at Next because we're just so excited about it. So I think that's going to be a really fun story of like, I mean, if you like cars, I just think that'll be a fun story. So those are mine. Richard, what do you have?
A good list. Yeah, we share my my screen. I mean, I took the same first one as you because why not? But you do want to know what in the world we're doing next with AI. People are interested, not even just next models, but what are some of the current ones? I don't know about you. I'm paid to keep up, and I barely do. So how do we even just keep up with what's available to us? What types of APIs? How do I handle all these new variants of things? Oh, there's a live API now, or there's this. How does all this work? So just to stop for a second and just look around and get a sense of where we are is pretty useful. We're doing a lot around MCP. How do you make Google Cloud speak MCP? And as you're building agentic apps, as you're building agents, as you're just using tools, how do you just get these trusted sources of truth? Because LLMs are amazing, but they do have knowledge cutoffs. So I want to bring in trusted info. And so being able to connect to all sorts of different data sources via MCP, we just keep cranking out new servers. We'll talk about more in a minute there. I get, I'm still an app developer, at least I pretend to be. So I think a lot about how do I run and host applications. So I get excited about, hey, inference on GKE. What does it mean to start using GKE for my AI workloads? Or, yeah, I'd love to learn more about actual generative UI and kind of build my first real example. What you've seen a lot of next, though, is best practices this year, good practices. Nobody knows best practices. We're all figuring it out. But there's a lot of good practices. Emma talked about there's a lot of customers here, hundreds of customers on site. So what are we learning from them? What are we learning from Google? We have partners like Anthropic and others. What are we all learning? And so there's a fastest path to production ready agents, I think will be good. I love thinking about how this is not just an engineering, like a software coder world. So what are we doing for SREs? What are we doing for data scientists? How do you think about this even if you're a non-tech user? A lot of content here for people that you might just call builders. We're doing all sorts of stuff. So having a session on SRE, I think is super interesting there as well. I'm a cloud run geek, like probably my favorite cloud service. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I think it's my favorite. And so how do we think about, going from zero to production? Databases, this is the year of data for a lot of AI workloads. We're done just goofing around with CPU. We got to get into memory. How do we think about the rest of the agent workload? So learning about databases, productivity, CLI matters a lot to me. And as you keep going through, I love some of the vibing stuff. I'm team vibe coding. I think we need more people who build. Doesn't mean go into prod with everything. But I love when business analysts, program managers, product managers, data people, anybody, executives, can you just prove your ideas faster with some of these tools? Let's empower more people to build and not gatekeep. So I love these sessions that are very much about how do you just kind of take your ideas to life. And then there's a section actually from our team, because Google transforms too. We are figuring this out too. How have we continued to evolve, and how are we shipping products from our technical documentation team with AI? So that'll be a great session as well. And then on the last day, there's a session I just picked here for Go agents because I am now a Go person, which I'm happy about. But how do you pick the right stacks? Is it GenKit? Is it the ADK? Do I go just raw APIs? What's the right techniques? And that's where, again, there's a lot of themes at Next this year around not just what to do, but why, how, when. And so I think that's super important right now because we got enough frameworks, we got enough services. When do I pick this? How do I do it the right way? So things like this I get excited about because maybe we're getting beyond just what are the features, but how do I do it right?
Nice. Yeah, there's a ton going. I mean, first of all, we can't give too much away because we have lots to share at the actual live event itself. But I do know that there's been a ton of activity over the last, quarter plus. And Richard, you've been involved in a lot of the latest news and launches. So what should people know about just so that they have a precursor and understanding leading up to Next?
Yeah, I am terrified of leaking information, and then my badge stops working tomorrow. So I'm very scared about saying the wrong thing. No, but as you look at what's new and interesting, I don't know, Steph and Emma, you probably remember from years past. Usually when these mega conferences happened like 5 years ago, all the announcement slowed to a trickle like a month before. Everyone was saving it up so I could launch 400 things at the event. It doesn't happen the same way now. There's always this rolling thunder. So there's a bunch of things that we've been doing over the last 2, 4, 6 weeks. Still pretty awesome, and we haven't been holding back. So, if you look at my screen here, we've got things like ADK. ADK went 1.0 on Go and on Java. So how do I build agents? Also, we launched our badass new site that is really a nice way to look at what are the features of this, what's the ecosystem, how do you build? When you look like we're production grade on these services now, how do I think about building great agents? I built one over the weekend and integrated it into a demo I showed yesterday for a customer. If I can do it, anybody can. And there's agent skills that ship for these things. So you even get best practices kind of baked into your building process. So if you haven't looked at ADK, kind of a little bit of a low-key hit for a lot of people who realize it's a pretty sweet framework. But so is GenKit. GenKit's a great framework if I'm building in multiple languages. We actually just shipped GenKit for Dart and Flutter. Mainly, I'm just trying to throw Emma some props here, but being able to do full stack Dart, being able to use this on front end and back end and doing some of these pieces where I'm building generative AI apps with all sorts of frameworks, GenKit's pretty cool. I can do stuff. If you look at the GenKit repo as a whole, multiple languages supported in the framework, really straightforward to use. I like GenKit. I like what it offers. So if you're just adding AI features to an app, look at something like GenKit. I talked about, look, anybody who claims to even be an expert on Gemini is probably making it up because no one can understand all the different cool things that are going on there. And so if you might have missed it, we just shipped Gemini 3.1 Flash-Lite. This is that sort of, how do I build real-time communication apps? How do I go back and forth live with a model? It's really awesome stuff. We've seen, I was in India a month or so ago, people doing some of the most innovative work we've seen on using that live API. So some really, really awesome things you can build with that. Gemini 3.1 Flash will be even more performant. And then look, a lot of us were super psyched about the Gemma 4 launch just recently. This is a pretty amazing open model, beyond being size that was awesome. You could run this on your phone, you could run this on your desktop, run this on the server. Amazing performance and capabilities, support for tons of languages, multimodal, amazing performance. But what's really exciting is it's an Apache 2 license, super permissible. So people can use this, change this, run this in whatever they want, and they're not trying to navigate the weird open source licensing police. So build amazing stuff and do it the right way. So really bullish on Gemma 4. We may or may not even be showing that on stage at the dev keynote. So excited about that. And then look, Cloud keeps doing cool stuff. Like just this week, we shipped BigQuery Graph. We're not even saving this for next week. What is wrong with us? But still shipping cool stuff. And so if you want to do graph connections with all your BigQuery data, go for it. Don't move it around. I think that's great. We talked about MCP, but I love the pace we've been doing here. MCP is cool, but running your own stuff has a cost. You got to scale it, secure it, yada, yada. How do I think about exposing some of the best Google Cloud services via MCP? So we've been adding to this list of fully managed remote MCP servers where you're just providing the connection to it, the right authentication, and whether that's our databases, whether that's things like logging and monitoring, which is actually pretty awesome. Have this help troubleshoot by reading trace information, figure out performance problems by easily talking to Google Cloud. Database services, error reporting, GKE, multiple data services, but then also for other things like, Android Management API. That's neat. The Maps API. That's what I was using this last weekend, which was really cool. Or our Developer Knowledge API. This is looking at over a dozen different Google Doc bases, serving all of that up through one API so you get trusted, almost up to the minute data that's in our documentation into your coding tool. So cool, we shipped a feature yesterday. Guess what? We know about it now in that sort of Docs MCP. So your coding agent's never giving you weird, old, stale information. How awesome is that? So we just keep shipping more and more. Stitch is amazing. So if you haven't tried one of these, check it out. It's really a cool way to bring in trusted info to your tools. And then finally, one of the cooler things that the team's been building over in DeepMind has been what they've been building at AI Studio for vibe coders. So as you think about how do I build, yes, you can test prompts and things like that, but they've really been investing in this vibing experience. So I don't know, build an app to track my Vegas experience at Cloud Next. They also just yesterday added a tab model that starts to pop up. So you see it already popped up. And remember all the sessions I attended this morning. They just shipped an experience where you can look at different themes that you like while it's building the app and then pick which theme and it gets applied. All of us can use this. This is amazing. Like any one of us can take an idea, spin it through this, and just start building. So we're not saving it all for next. We'll ship a bunch of fun stuff next week. We'll never stop shipping cool stuff. But at the same time, I don't know, I like to sometimes look at what we've already delivered because most people can't even keep up with what we shipped a month ago. So yeah, pour yourself into what's already out there and build amazing stuff. Don't accidentally freeze waiting for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like to your point about being able to ship leading up to a big conference like Next, I think it's just a reflection of the speed at which we are able and other companies are able to ship with AI and all of these tools now available. I mean, it's like incredible. Like this was not possible before. So we're seeing it like live every second. It's crazy.
Super exciting.
Yeah. And I just wanted to highlight a couple things that you just mentioned as well. Super exciting that we have our out-of-the-box MCP servers to make Google Cloud more useful and accessible for your AI agents for Google Cloud, which is amazing. The other thing you highlighted, Gemma 4, exciting launch. I think open models, there's so much potential there. The third thing I want to mention is the live APIs. We just wrapped up a Gemini Live Agent Challenge Hackathon online, which saw a ton of interest. And we're trying to get some of the winners over at Next. They built some incredible use cases of using live APIs or multimodal live APIs as well with Gemini. So check out the developer theater. We're going to try to get them to cover how they built what they built. And there's some really cool medical drone usage. There's all sorts of really creative storytelling agents. So check that out as well. But yeah, this is, thanks for covering all of that, Richard. I do want to ask you, do you have any tips to survive a 3-day conference like Next?
I mean, everyone says, drink a lot, water, not other stuff if you want to survive. But so there's something to that. I think there's a few things to think about going into Next. First off, it would be in your best interest to sign up for the Google Developer Profile and program. I can't tell you why. It'll just be very good if you're a member next week. So be in the Google Developer Program. We've got some amazing things signed up for you there. One of the things I kind of alluded to earlier, but for any of these types of events, if you get the privilege of going in person, which I know we don't all get to do, you're getting permission to spend a few days uninterrupted to learn stuff. Go to something outside your comfort zone. A talk you would never attend if you were just like, in a day and had 30 minutes free, you wouldn't attend that talk. You got 3 days. No one's yelling at you to go get your work done. Go attend a database talk when you're not a database person. Go do one of the SRE talks when you're not a day 2 person. Go just learn about an AI topic you would never study on your own, but why not? So I guess use these moments for those serendipitous, like, let me just go learn something. Maybe I'll bump into somebody. Maybe I'll do whatever. You have a certain gift when you get to go to events like this. Even if you're watching online, use it. Use it to just diversify your knowledge and what you know, and don't accidentally just stay in one track of everything you're already an expert on. You can. It's okay. I'm not going to say don't do it, but I think you get more by just going like, I am going to do a really weird program this year and just learn all kinds of different stuff and see what comes out of it.
Yeah, great tips. And I do want to highlight a couple of things that I'm getting from the chat as well. People are really excited about the event. One of the top comments is wear comfy shoes. I think that's a really good one. So don't bring your stiletto heels out, Richard. I know you're planning on wearing that.
Next year.
Next year. And then we also have some tips around it, for the session library itself. Guillaume is saying for breakouts, following the number indicated after the breakout number. So if you see breakout 1 for intro level, breakout 2, 200 level, 300 level for advanced. So it's just a good way to understand the level of depth or maybe advancement for the sessions in case you didn't know. And yeah, I mean, people are just agreeing the level of innovation these days is crazy. It's hard to keep up. Gemma 4 is so versatile, truly open. Apache 2 is mind-boggling. So yeah, thanks for the reactions, folks. How about you, Emma? Any tips for surviving conferences?
I feel like Richard and the chat took all my good ones. Bring water, That way you can have more coffee, wear comfy shoes, bring layers, I feel like is one I always tell the people that I have from my staff coming. It's like super hot outside in Vegas. I haven't looked at the weather next week, but I assume it's like cool weather outside, and inside some of those rooms, I truly think might be a refrigerator.
The meat locker in there. Yeah, prepare.
Yeah. This is the time for sweaters and layers and all of that good stuff.
Exactly. One quick thing also, Richard, somebody shouted out your newsletters. So keeping them up. The Google Developer Program, I think you have a newsletter for our monthly series as well. So wanted to give that shout out that people are enjoying it.
I owe an issue that I'll write after next because there'll be too much to include from next. It's shipping it the week before seems silly. So we'll make sure we include all the fun next stuff. And one thing I will quick add, at least for tips, it's okay. I mean, I'm an introvert, if you believe it. So these conferences are exhausting mentally. There's no shame if you just need to step to a corner and sit and relax, or go to all these places like something like Next where you can plug in a laptop or just sit or listen to music. You do not need to be social the entire time. I can't handle it either. So find those moments and don't feel bad if you just need to disappear for an hour and sit in a corner and people watch or grab a bite. You don't have to occupy every second of the time.
Yeah, well said. Well said. It can get exhausting and a lot. So definitely agree. And I will say, if the keynotes or any sessions, especially the keynotes, if they're full, there are some other areas that you'll be able to watch them. Certain lounges on the showcase floor, there will be some screens that you can watch it. So don't feel like you need to squeeze in or rush. It can sometimes be busy. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, the live stream will be available if you want to watch the keynotes online in the comfort of your hotel room or something, if you just want to take a moment to yourself. But cool. So, okay, we're almost at time here. Where are you both going to be for the majority of the time? Where can people run into you or maybe catch you at Next?
Emma?
Yes, I'll go first. I have a link to all of the agenda of where I will be, which is mostly the Flutter and Dart things. And then anytime I'm not with Richard backstage practicing for the keynote, I will be at that Gem Latte serving coffee if they let me. So come get coffee from me. I'm very excited. I'm driving 8 coffee printers all the way to Vegas. So
nice. Yeah, I don't turn on location like the kids do nowadays, where they all track every step they take. So I'm not sharing my exact location all week, but I'll be definitely around the showcase floor. A lot of customer time, obviously a lot of keynote prep, but I'm getting there early. So hopefully I'll see some of you even Monday, Tuesday walking around. And yeah, always please stop, say hi. I'd love meeting the people who make any effort to come hang out with us. It's a big investment of your time. And so you have our undivided attention when you want to stop by and say hi.
Very nice. Yes. Same here. I will be all over the showcase floor. My team and I have really helped to build some of the key areas I mentioned earlier for the build area. So I'll just be kind of floating around, making sure things are going well and meeting you all and live streaming, because I want to plug that we will be doing Google Cloud Live at Next. So even if you're not on the showcase floor and you want to just check out some key conversations that we're having, check out the live stream on these channels that you're watching from now. And we're going to have some awesome interviews with some of the demo presenters, a couple of key surprise guests that you don't want to miss, and some just awesome things that you don't want to miss. So check that out. I think that's all the time we have. So I just want to say thank you to Richard and Emma. I know y'all are busy with the keynote and everything else and driving printers over to showcase floor to make coffees for people. So thanks for coming.
Awesome.
Thanks for having
Really
us.
great to see you. Yeah, it's great to talk about this. Excited to see you in person next week.
Same. Okay. Before we wrap up, we have 2 big opportunities for those of you looking to level up your skills. First of all, I just want to announce that Get Certified, which is a certification program that's a part of Gear. The edition 2 is now officially open. So if you've been waiting for the right time to validate your expertise and get certified, you can register now, and we'll include the link in these chats. Second thing, if you're looking to get your hands dirty with the latest AI reference architectures, there's something that we just launched called AI Learning Lab. These are live build-along sessions, and they're hosted by our Google developer experts. These are professional developers who are actually building the stuff in the wild. and they will walk you through everything from anti-gravity data pipelines to agentic reasoning. It's totally free, and we'll provide the credits on Google Cloud to fuel your build. So register at ailearninglab.live. I'll include the link here too. And then for those of you who are watching who can't make it to Las Vegas in person, don't worry, we are bringing the magic of the show directly to your screen. I mentioned that we're live streaming from Google Cloud Next from Wednesday, April 22nd to Thursday, April 23rd, where it's going to be an action-packed 2 days. We're going deep on breakout sessions, keynotes, live demos. You can see how the products work. We're also going to be hosting chats with GDEs and executives who are building with these things out in the world. And we might have a few surprises along the way that you don't want to miss. So I will leave it at that. And we hope to see you all either in person or online next week. Hopefully today's session gave you a really good lay of the land of everything that's going on. I know it's a lot to absorb. So see you all next week, and we are so excited. See you all.